Guys, I know the markets are down very pretty bad, and everyone has started to flip bearish. But today, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you signs that we are about to have a big reversal coming soon. So in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at BTC, ETH, the Bitcoin dominance, um, total three and the others versus BTC. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, do make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that when I upload another crypto update, you will be the first to get notified. So let's head on to the charts. First off, this is Bitcoin USD on the weekly time frame. I know we've bearish all the way from 130k, dropping massively with impulsive red candlestick, but the first important thing that I want us to look at is this stochastic RSI. Guys, just take a look at it at the stochastic RSI. If you take a look at the stochastic RSI, you find out that it has already been oversold. Just take a look at the RSI. It has already been oversold and it is flat at the moment. Now, what does this indicate? If you zoom out into the higher time frame, that's why I love paying attention to the higher time frame, avoiding the noise on the lower time frame, because markets can manipulate on the lower time frame. But if you zoom out to the higher time frame, you will see that the stochastic RSI is already oversold. And what does this indicate? It indicates that it's about time we start seeing some slow push towards the upside. And if we start seeing a rejection of this level, then it could easily head over to this highs at $123,000. So that is it for the weekly time frame analysis. I know a lot of influencers are right now saying, oh, we have been creating a divergence on Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. So you can see that when price has been making higher highs, the candlestick has been making lower lows. But nevertheless, it will take a lot of time before this RSI will get to this trend on the RSI. We take a couple of months, I don't know, 3 to 4 months, but before then we are going to start seeing some altcoin push. We are not in the Bitcoin season anymore. Investors are now taking their profits and gradually diversifying into smaller odds. And what is important for us now is not by paying attention to BTC, although we use BTC as a catalyst for the market, for us to actually know where to buy and where to sell out of our position. But it's about time that we start seeing a really massive push for the altcoins. And when would that start? I don't know, probably, but we need to start seeing some strength in Bitcoin before we start seeing money flow into various altcoins. But I know this divergence is in play, but it will take like up to like 5 months, 6 months before this bearish divergence will actually play out for BTC. So I'm not really paying attention to this divergence right now, but the main thing I'm looking at is the stochastic RSI. And before we know it, before next week or two, we start actually seeing some slow push towards the upside, then before you know, a parabolic move for Bitcoin. So that is what I'm paying attention on the weekly time frame. So if we kind of head down to the daily time frame, as you can see that yesterday we were around this place, around $95,000, and I said we are at a critical support level. But I was actually paying attention, if you watch my yesterday's video, that there is an imbalance right here between 91 to $88,000. So you can see that this was a big inefficiency candlestick price created, and most of the time price usually comes back to fill in this inefficient candlestick. And if we look at this CME chart, we see that it is aligned with this fair value gap that we are having here. Now the CME gap is aligned with the fair value gap that we had. Now if we take a look at the Bitcoin CME chart, we'll find out that we just filled this CME gap that we're having here, and it seems that price is about to reverse to the upside. So what we want for price now is for us to actually create a bullish hammer candlestick, because we've been oversold for a while. Look at the stochastic RSI on the CME chart. It indicates that we are probably oversold and it's time for a possible reversal. So we just need for price to create a bullish candlestick pattern, which would be an hammer or a bullish pin bar for us to know that it's time for we to see a possible reversal to the upside. Now what we are waiting for Bitcoin is for us to start seeing some slow push towards the upside, then break it down both this resistance at $105,000. So heading over to the normal Bitcoin chart. Now per se, I don't actually think maybe we could go lower than this, but there's nothing impossible in crypto. We could go lower than this, but we don't actually want to see a candlestick close below this level right here. If we see a massive bearish candlestick close below this level right here, then it indicates that we could have a further drop to the downside, and once we lose this fair value gap, our last line of support would be around $80,000. So but we don't want Bitcoin to go low to this level, because most of the altcoins will suffer, and most of the altcoins are at their lowest point at the moment. So we don't want Bitcoin to go below this level. What we just want to see is a steady price increase towards the upside. And another thing that we need to look at for is this trend that is in place. You can see that we had two touches on this trend before we actually had a smack to the downside, but we need to start to see some gradual price push to the upside. Then maybe we could reclaim this level, then a final break towards this trend line. Once we see a break towards this trend line, then our next target resistance would be around $114,000. Although there is a minor resistance level just around $103,000 or $104,000, but this resistance wouldn't be much of a problem if we just start to gain some bullish momentum. And I think we will actually see some bullish momentum, because a lot of retail traders have actually sold out of the market, and the fear and greed index is also at the fear side, which indicates a right time to buy, because you actually want to be greedy when others are fearful, and to be fearful when others are greedy. So that is why I actually say it's about time that we could see some possible move towards the upside. Now let's quickly pay attention to Bitcoin on the lower time frame. So let's head over to the 4-hour chart. Let's see what price is doing. Let's see if we would have a reversal to the upside. Now this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, and right now you can see that we just printed a green candlestick, and it seems as if we are going to move towards the upside, but we could go higher. But what I'm actually paying attention to is this resistance right around here that we are having. So we could easily see a push towards the upside, maybe a form of rejection. Then if we definitely break towards this resistance level, creating maybe an inverse head and shoulder pattern, our next target will be this resistance trend line that we're having on the daily time frame. So we just need Bitcoin to gain momentum and break above this resistance level on the 4-hour time frame for we to see another push towards the upside. So let's take a look at Ethereum right now. Now for Ethereum, when Bitcoin was dropping, we didn't see much of a drop. We still steadily held around this level at $3,000. So right now we are seeing that price is trying to give us a reversal, and we just tapped on this little bit of order block that we're having here, and in line with this support trend, because we'll be in this channel for a pretty long time, and I think it's time for we to see another reversal. But there's an indicator I want us to look at, which is the stochastic RSI. Now we are probably approaching the oversold region, and there's another thing I want us to look at for, which is the divergence that is in play for Ethereum. What did the price candlestick create? It created a lower low, and we are kind of seeing a higher low on the RSI. And what does this signifies? It signifies reversal, that we're having a bullish reversal pretty very soon. So I'll be thinking of opening a little bit of long position on this Ethereum setup that I'll be looking at, then trying to target these highs at the resistance at around 3,500. Now I'll be looking to target these highs at around $4,000 on it. Then because of these bullish divergence that we are actually forming on the daily time frame. So if we see a reversal pretty much soon from this low till this high at around the resistance trend line, will be having a 46% increase to the upside. So I'll be looking to capitalize on that move if we start seeing some momentum on the market. So let's quickly take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Now the Bitcoin dominance has been dropping steadily to the downside, and we are about to break below the support that we're having here. So I said if we see a break below this support that we're having here, it will be time for the altcoins to actually start gaining on their Bitcoin pairs. Because right now we are about to see a break below this support, and if we drop below this support, the next line of support for Bitcoin dominance is at around this level, around 57.71. Now if we drop below this support, our less line of support will be around this level right here. So if we actually see a massive drop in dominance, then altcoin will begin to cash up. Then how do I project my target levels for the BTC dominance? If I take up my fib from that low to this high, then there are some potential price target that I'm actually looking at, which is the 1.618, 2.6618. So I think when price Bitcoin dominance actually break below these lows, our next target will be these levels for the Bitcoin dominance, and then we start seeing some massive rally for the altcoins. Now the next we are going to be looking at is the total tree, and you can see on the total tree how we slightly fell below this support, this resistance that we flipped as support. We slightly went below, but we can see that there is a trend right here that is holding that we are holding as support. And taking a look at the RSI is creating this bullish divergence. There's one thing I love about this RSI is that 50 to 60% of the time it actually plays out this bullish divergence that we're having, and most of the time when this plays out, it actually gives a massive profit risk to reward ratio. So a lot of altcoins are actually having this divergence in play, and it kind of signifies that we need to kind of outright and actually get into most of our altcoins for a massive potential move towards the upside. Then the last we are going to be taking a look at is the orders dominance, which indicates all other small altcoins apart from the top 10 dominance. And right now we did held support at this level, and we began to see a push towards the upside, but we don't seem to be having much of a rejection as price steadily move towards this resistance. That's why most of the altcoin, as Bitcoin is dropping, most of the altcoin are actually gaining strength. So our next target is to break above this resistance trend, although there is a major resistance in play right here. If you can see that we've rejected off this level multiple times, then I think the next time we see price come towards this level, then we are going to see a final break to the upside. Then for the major resistance trend line, once we see a major push towards this trend line, then I think that we commence the starting of the alt season. So I want price to slowly push towards the upside while I begin to dollar cost into my favorite altcoins for a massive gains. I believe this alt season is going to be massively parabolic. It's going to go parabolic, so that's why I'm actually doubling down on my alt position. So that is it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.